So again, guys, today we're going to revise chapter 9. Chapter 9 is talking about found and lost. And at the beginning of the presentation, you're going to find the new vocab here. You're going to find the voice, how to pronounce the word, and the definition of each word. So our chapter, it's called Found and Lost. So, what can you see here in the picture, Habiba?
I can see Emily and Mr. Biggery.
Excellent, Emily and Mr. Piggery. What they're doing?
They are crying.
Yes, why are they crying? Do you know why?
Yeah, I think because Ham went uh, to help Steve Force because the little Emily was
Excellent, you're
no, I
doing great.
can
Continue. Yeah, perfect. Continue. You think
yeah
crying because Ham went to help Steerforth and both of them died, right?
yeah
But do you know, Habiba, that both of them, Mr. Piggery and Emily, didn't know that they died yet?
yeah I know.
Yeah. So she cried because she was ashamed. You know what means ashamed?
Afraid?
Not afraid. For example, Habiba, you got bad mark in English quiz. So you're going to cry because you're going to feel ashamed. Oh, I didn't do my best. That's why you feel that you are too small in front of your teacher. That's why you're crying. You got it? Because you made a big problem, made mistake. Got it, my dear?
Yeah, yeah,
So
got it.
why was she ashamed?
Mm,
Mm,
I don't know this one.
okay, do you remember what happened in chapter 8? What did she do, Emily?
She ran away with Steerforth.
Excellent. This is the
Yeah,
answer, my dear. Yes, right. Why was she crying, or why were they crying? Because she was ashamed of what she had done. What she had done, that she ran away with the Steerforth. This is the answer, my dear. Excellent. Good. Jenna. Jenna, my dear.
Yeah, Miss Radwa.
Okay, can you tell me what's going on here in this picture?
Yeah,
Yeah, what's
the
happening?
boat, the boat has broken,
Yeah. Okay, there's a
and
boat here, and the boat is broken. What boat do you think is for? This boat
for
belongs
Dave
to.
Steerforth.
Excellent. Good, good, beautiful answer. Excellent. This boat, which is there, guys, it's the boat of Steerforth and Emily. And
Yeah,
what is David doing here?
and they tried to go outside the sea.
Yeah, to help whom? Who's that person?
David,
This is David. This is David. But this is not David. This is Ham.
Ham,
This
Ham.
is Ham. Yeah, this is Ham. So, what is David doing with Ham now?
David
Yeah, what is David doing now with Ham? What is he trying to do?
tried to sweep the rope,
To what?
to sweep the rope.
Sweep the rope? What do you mean
Yeah,
by sweep the rope?
to get it from him
Okay, so
or to catch it.
David and Ham, you're right, but what's happening in this
Yeah,
picture? Let's see here, my dear. Ham was trying to save Steerforth, and David wanted to stop him. Do you know, my dear? This is Ham. and Ham is trying to save Steerforth. Ham is the only one who knew that Steerforth was in that boat, but David doesn't know that Ham was about to save Steerforth. So David thought that this day was windy and very dangerous. Nobody can go to the sea because if anyone goes to the sea like that, he's going to die, right or not?
Yeah, right.
So David is trying to stop him from going there, but nothing could stop him. Thank you, Jen. So
Welcome.
you guys, what happened to David after Dora's death? We know from chapter 8 that Dora died. So David tried to cheer himself up. And of course, guys, David, of course, fell into a deep depression. He became very sad. So he decided to travel around Europe. Here we have another question. Why did Steerforth leave Emily? Why did Steerforth leave Emily? Why didn't Emily want to tell her family to take her back? So, Frida, do you know the answer, Frida? Why did Steerforth leave Emily?
No, I don't know.
Okay, if you read my dears here, you're going to find that Steerforth lost interest in Emily. He doesn't love her anymore. And at the same time, Emily missed her family, so she wanted to go back to her family. That's why they left each other. Got it, my dear? Got it, my dear?
Yes.
And once Emily left Steerforth, she couldn't go and tell her family to take her back because she was ashamed. You know what shame means what? Because she felt that she cannot go there because she made a big mistake, that she left her family and ran away with the Steerforth. Mr. Piggery was a kind man. Proof. If you read here, guys, from line number 12 to line number 20, guys, I know that some people didn't prepare or didn't read, so I'm reading or I'm telling you the answers quickly to remember what's going to happen here. So here, guys, Mr. Piggery, by the way, he showed to us that he's a kind person because he never stopped looking for Emily, and he was searching for her through Europe, and once she came back to him, he forgave her, okay? And he took her away from Yarmouth. What did Mr. Micawber ask David and Anne Bitsy? We knew from chapter 8 that Anne Bitsy and Mr. Dick came to live with David in his house. Why? Because Anne Bitsy lost all of her money in the business of Mr. Wickfield. So Mr. Micawber one day came to David and he told him that he wanted to meet him in Canterbury. So one day again, guys, Mr. Micawber, one day, Mr. Micawber went to David and he told him that he wanted to meet him in Canterbury. What do you think Mr. Micawber want to tell David about? What does he want him? Why does he want David and Anne Betsy? He wanted to tell him something related to Uriah Heep.
Heap.
Yes, he wanted to tell them something about Uriah Heep. What was Ham doing and why? We knew from the picture that Jenna talked about before that Ham, okay, David saw Ham on the beach and Ham was trying to tie a rope around himself because he wanted to go and swim out to the sea because there was a boat there and this boat was sinking. How was Ham's end? Do you know what happened to him at the end, guys? Who knows what happened to him at the end? Who can guess what happened to him at the end? If you know the
I
answer,
know.
tell me, Jenna.
He will die.
Excellent. Yes, my dear. Guys, there was there lightning and thunder, and there was a huge wave covered everything, and Ham and the boat disappeared under the water, and at the end, Ham died. When did David realize that Steerforth had died? Or How was Ham a nobleman? Show to me, guys, how Ham was a nobleman. So the next morning, guys, David found few pieces from the boat. Came ashore. Came ashore means came to the beach, and he knew that the boat was the boat of Steerforth and Emily because there was a piece of wood which is written on it, Little Emily. Ham showed to us that he was a nobleman or is a great man because he died trying to save Steerforth. Although Steerforth is the man who took Emily away from him, but he decided to help him. So it's clear, guys, that Ham was a great man, a nobleman, because he tried to save the men who tried to take his wife from him. Okay, guys, chapter 9 is easy or difficult?
It's easy.
Perfect.
Easy.
So we're going to go to the next chapter, chapter 10, the end. Okay, let's see together. Chapter 10, guys, before we look at the chapter 10, I want you to tell me, what can you see here in the pictures? Chapter 10 is called How It All Worked Out. How it all worked out means that everything became great and every problem is solved there. So, what can you see here in this picture? I want Omar Taha. Omar,
Yes,
can you tell me who are these people in the picture? Do you know them?
I think
Yeah?
uh, she is Emily.
She's who? Emily? By the way, Emily's blonde. This is not
Uh,
Emily. I will tell
sorry.
you. This girl is the daughter of Mr. Whitfield. This is the daughter of Mr. Whitfield. And by the way, David grew up with her. And she was wise. And David took advice from her. And her name begins with letter A.
Agnes,
Yes, correct.
Agnes.
Excellent. Yes, Omar. And who is that boy or who is that man?
David.
Excellent. David. This is David. Great. So, as we heard from Omar here, he said that this is Agnes. Let's see. And this is David. Okay, can you guess, Omar, why was she crying? Why was Agnes crying?
Mm,
Can I answer it?
Yes, can
We'll
I answer?
see. Okay, I
hold on,
want Omar to guess. Oh, guess, Omar. Say anything. Why? Why? Why is she crying?
because David wants to marry her.
Oh, so because David wanted to marry her, she's gonna cry?
I think.
Yeah. By the way, you are so close to the answer. Excellent, Omar. By the way, guys,
Because she had a secret.
yeah, because she had a secret and she couldn't say it. We're going to know what is the secret today. Omar, by the way, was right. Omar said that David wanted to marry Agnes, and this is the end of Agnes and David that they married at the end. And as you can see here, guys, I'm gonna show you here. Can you see who is that person? This is Aunt Betsy,
Bitsy.
and this is Mr. Dick, and this woman is Miss
Miss
Piggy,
Piggy.
and this is Mr. who?
Recover?
Mr. Micawber. Oh, it could be Mr. Micawber or Mr. Who.
Wakefield?
By the way, this man looks like Mr. Micawber, Or he could be who said I heard someone say something else.
Wickfield.
Yeah.
Whitfield. Okay, it could be Whitfield, it could be Mr. Micawber, but I agree with the students who said that this is Mr. Micawber when he grew up. This is Mr. Micawber. This is Mr. Micawber. Okay, and what can you see here in this picture, guys? This picture. That David and Agnes has,
Married.
yeah, and how many
Yeah.
children does he have?
3.
3.
3.
Yes, 1, 2, 3. And it's clear that he has a happy life or sad life.
Happy.
Yeah, happy
Happy
life.
life.
Can you guess what is the job of David at the end?
Mm.
A lawyer.
He was a lawyer. Yeah, he was a lawyer, but later he became a writer. A writer. Okay. So here, guys, the first question that we'd like to know the answer of it. How could David cheer himself after the death of Dora, Ham, and Steerforth? We knew from chapter 9 and 8 that Dora died, Ham died, Steerforth died. Of course, David should be very disappointed, so he wanted to cheer himself up. How did he cheer himself up? He tried to travel abroad for a while. Travel to forget his sadness. We have here another question. What did David have to do before traveling abroad? Huh? Who can guess? Who can tell me?
Uh,
What did David have to do before he traveled abroad? Remember that there was someone came before and you told him that I wanted to meet him. So David tried to meet him.
um,
Hmm.
I know it, but wait.
Oh yeah, you can read and tell me the answer. David had to go and meet someone in Canterbury. Who was that person?
He had to go to
Excellent.
Canterbury.
Macabre?
Canterbury, yes, excellent, guys. He had to go to Canterbury to meet Mr. Micawber. Okay, what was Mr. Micawber's good surprise? Guys, Mr. Micawber had a great surprise. What was that surprise? Mm, you can read with your eyes quickly.
Um,
Uh, who can read? Miki? Malek, can you read?
me.
Okay, I want you to read Malek. Malek, read. Malek, by the way, Malek, I highlighted for you the answer, so you can tell me the answer here. Malek? Rahma, can you read the answer, Rahma? Habiba, can you read the answer, Habiba?
Is a list of the papers he signed without Miss Wickfield.
Yeah.
Uh, I also have proof that he stole money and that he used Mr. Wickfield's name to steal money of certain people like Miss Betsy Trotwood.
Excellent. So, what did you get from that answer, my dear? That Uriah Heep was a thief. He was trying
Yeah,
to sign Mr. Wickfield's papers without his permission, and he wanted to steal money from him. And that man, Uriah Heep, showed to us that he was a thief. So now we knew why Mr. Micawber worked for Uriah Heep to get a proof against him to put him in a jail. You got it, my dears? You got it?
yeah,
Why he was working with Uriah because he wanted to get a proof against him to put him in a jail.
Yeah.
That's why this was a good surprise. So let's see the next question. Why did David apologize to Mr. Micawber? Why did David say sorry to Mr. Micawber? Huh? Even
I
without reading
know.
this, you can tell me the answer, my dear.
Miss me.
Yes, you can.
For having thought badly of him.
Excellent. He apologized for him because he was having thought badly of him. Okay, great. So who can tell me the end of Mr. Micawber, Mr. Uriah, and Bessie, Mr. Wickfield, and Agnes? Huh?
I know it.
Mr. Micawber paid his debts, and he immigrated means that he left his country and he traveled to Australia with Mr. Piggery and Emily. Uriah Heep went to the prison, and Bessie returned
She returned to her
To
cottage.
her cottage in Dover with Mr. Dick.
and Mr. Dick, of course, he wanted to get back to work in his book again. And Mr. Wickfield, things became better for Mr. Wickfield, and Agnes wouldn't have to marry Uriah Heep. So you got the end? You got the end of
Yeah,
each
Yeah,
here? Great.
yeah.
How was the life with David?
I know it.
So let's read the answer together, my dear. He left England as he planned, and he went to Europe. And by the way, this was the advice of Agnes. And he decided to write again to send his work home to be published. So he wanted to work again as a writer. So here we have another question here. David, guys, his mind was busy with someone. Who was that person?
Agnes.
Excellent, Jenna.
Agnes.
Yes, it was Agnes. It was Agnes,
Rico.
guys. You're right. How was she, guys?
I know
She's
it.
more beautiful. And David and Aunt Bessie, by the way, thought that she was in love with another person and she's going to marry that person very soon. What did David feel after he knew that Agnes would marry? And what did she decide? What did he decide to do? Okay, guys, I think now you know that David's mind is busy with Agnes. This means that he's in love with her. So he knew now that she's about to marry somebody. Do you think that he's going to be happy?
No.
Yes.
No. So David felt that there's something broke his heart,
Miss,
and
if you are talking, I can't hear you.
sorry, sorry, my dear. Sorry, who's talking?
Farida.
Yes, Frida. What do you want, my dear? Frida?
I think she said while you was talking, she can't hear you.
So, Farida, you can leave the meeting and get again to check that you can hear us. So here, guys, David felt that there's something broke his heart, and he was very upset and depressed. And he decided, what did he decide to do? He decided to visit Agnes at her home as soon as possible to talk to her. Guys, you're following me? Everything's clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Let's see here, guys. What did David ask Agnes to tell him? By the way, David told her, you have to trust me and tell me what do you feel? I'm your brother. And he told her that you are dear to my heart and I wish for you the happiness and so on. And if you need help, I'm with you here at any time. But David had a secret. What was the secret of David that he has to reveal to Agnes? Huh? What do you think, Omar? What is the secret that David told Agnes about?
I don't know.
Okay, try to guess. He was in love with her, that she was his first and greatest love that he had. Okay, guys? But who can tell me what did Agnes feel towards David and what did David ask Agnes? Agnes, by the way, she felt the same as David and she was in love with him. What did David ask Agnes, guys, at the end? What do you think? She was the only person that she had ever loved, and David asked her to marry her.
Here.
Yes. Okay, guys, now we'd like to know what was the secret of Agnes? Remember, guys, that Dora, before she died, she asked Agnes to come to her to tell her something, right? Do you remember that? What
Yeah.
had Dora told Agnes before she died? What had Dora told Agnes before she died?
She told her that
Yeah?
okay, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah. Do you know, guys, Dora, before she died, she told Agnes this sentence. She wanted to ask, Dora wanted to ask Agnes a favor, and it was the last request. And it was, what was it? The only one that Agnes would take her place. Dora, before she died, guys, she asked Agnes to marry David, and she should be the only ones who can take her place. Got it, my dears? Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how was David's life? David's life was perfect. He married Agnes, and he had 3 children, and he became a successful writer. What about Mr. Piggity, guys? Mr. Piggity, why did Mr. Piggity thank David? Mr. Piggity thanked David because he didn't tell Emily and him about Ham's death before they left. And how was Mr. Micawber's life? How was his end? Mr. Micawber became a governor. You know what means governor? Like a boss, a leader. He was a person who's responsible for a specific organization. Why he became a governor? Because he was a respectable man. Everybody respected him, and people loved his honesty. The last question here. What was the moral of our story? What's the meaning of moral? Moral means the lesson. So, I want Malak, can you read? Malak,
Yes.
can you read? What's the moral of our story? What's the lesson of our story?
Okay. When I look back, I see that I had good I had good times and bad times, but I suppose that's life. And the saying goes, I'm certain of one thing, that kindness con- conquers all. I'm grateful for the good people I met and for the way my life finally turned out.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So the moral of the story or the lesson of our story that he said that's the life. This is the life, guys. That sometimes our life has has ups and downs. Sometimes we have happy time, and sometimes we have a sad times, right or not? So the life shouldn't be happy all the time. And he said that kindness conquers all, means that the kindness at the end is going to be the winner. The evil people will be present one day, will have bad ending. That's why he said kindness conquers all, means that kindness will be the winner at the end. Will be the winner at the end. Okay, guys, do you have any question?
No.
So now we know the end of our story. So
Yes.
thank you guys for listening.